Good morning. This is 28th of July 2020. I was last Saturday with a friend and the video of oceans wave intrinsic value. Why? Because this friend told me, well, it is indeed true that also close by in another beach called Sopelana, there was the triangular, and there was also in the main beach another peak that it was destroyed by making the parking lot and the sand and as it used to break tubular. So then he said, Jose, this is very interesting what you're saying. And well, then who could calculate this value? And then I thought to myself, well, if there is someone able to calculate value of a wave, that is me. So then I started thinking after meeting him and I told him, okay, don't worry, I will calculate the intrinsic value of a wave. This is very important that we calculate and that we multiply times the brand value, the investment, the return of investment, ROI, that a wave produces. When it is eliminated, therefore it is the cost of opportunity difference between what could have been and what is not. And this is the cost of opportunity. So then I thought, let's go basic. Imagine my town has something like 300 employees living out of the surfing industry. Why 300? Because there is approx 300 visitors, so it's a one like cruise ships, not so complicated. Okay, we can go to one, we can complicate formulas, make logarithms, yes, but let's go basic, please. So then again, if we have, for example, these waves that provide 300 surfers that need 300 beds, 300 meals, 300 schools, training, wetsuits, and then also all miscellaneous transport and storage, energy, and so on. So then if these 300 surfers average provide then 300 jobs direct, this I made here a calculation. So I hope that this, my friend of Sopelana Beach, also in that beach they make this little calculation because it would be the same for another town and another beach, and he shapes boards. So and it's called eucalyptus, the best boards in the world. And so then perhaps he could shape many more boards and ding repairs and all this industry. Um, so I made this calculation. 300 direct jobs times 20,000 euros average. I'm not going to enter into gross, net gross and all this. So let's say 300 jobs times 20,000 euros equals 6 million to me. Now, this is direct jobs. Obviously, these 300 direct jobs would have some kind of collateral indirect, job repercussions. Normally the average, when you eliminate one job, you eliminate also 10 indirect jobs. Therefore, applying the opportunity cost, the formula is reversed. So then we have that if you create one job, you are creating 10 more. Well, it is an approx figure of the industry, and therefore the tourism could be approx the same figure. So, but just making calculation of the direct jobs in Baguio Beach that since 1990 98 they destroyed the two waves. And the money they have been destroying is exactly $6 million or euros per year. Why? Because it is 300 jobs. Everybody in the town of Baguio could be working out of surfing restaurants, hotels, ding repairers, surfboards, shapers, wetsuits, teachers, surfing teachers, windsurfing teachers, whatever, uh, schools for even open sea swimming or whatever. And so it is 300 jobs times 20, the figure is 6 million per year. Well, it's not huge figure, but employment-wise, it is a very big figure. And also, it is a very ecological industry. I was watching the other day in Peru, they have declared the beaches, no, sorry, the waves, like reserves of the biosphere, and therefore we have that. For example, there is one huge left wave in Peru that it is in the desert and it provides, it is the example is already living there, and this fishing, say, industry that they had before, the fishers, and so with the small boats, now they can sell the fish, now they have restaurants, now they have hotels, and it is not in a big income way industry, but it is very ecological, and also it is continuous, never stops. So it does provide these 300 jobs forever. You don't have any coronavirus crisis, you don't have any dollar crisis, you don't have any stock exchange crack, bubble, or whatever. And it is the wave and the town and surfing, that's all. So $6 million divided in 300 jobs, it is, I believe, is a great opportunity loss, and this is something that politicians will have to please get some pen and calculation. I made these little calculations so they don't have to think and have any more meetings because it could be risky with this coronavirus. Without it, even more. But yes, let's avoid the risk. Now, if we calculate the intrinsic value of this, like for example, Coca-Cola brand in 100 years discounted profits, yes, well, it is complicated, but the question is that 100 years is the value of a brand. How long will a brand survive? 100 years is really like a success ratio like this company. But it is not so normal to find in the street, hey, you are a 100 years company, only 3% out of those 3% that survive the first 3 years. So here the risk factor is zero because the waves are for eternity. Do you agree with me? I believe you agree with me. So if we have 100 shares, then the intrinsic value of the brand, if we compare the intrinsic value of shares in the stock exchange of this town called Baguio, called Sopelana, called Zarauz, called whatever beach with very nice waves that they have destroyed, then if we compare this beach only with two peaks, yes, it is 600 million is intrinsic value. So if 1 year it's 6 million, 100 years it is 600 million. So for 100 years, 300 humans would have jobs of 20,000 euros or dollars approx. And then we could have also indirect jobs of another 10 plus the 1. So it is 11. So this calculation of indirect intrinsic value, I am not going to make any other video about it because it is ridiculous the amount of money we're talking about that these politicians are destroying all these waves worldwide. And the most important thing, they are not creating waves. I know of, let's say, 7 points close to Baguio that could be tomorrow with a nice walking, with nice parking, with a nice, let's say, even some little artificial sun or some little small place to sit and leave the surfboards. And so there is a huge potential to create many more waves around. Therefore, if we laugh about the stock exchange calculations and then we go straight into the wave calculation, and this is the reason for the video, then it is not the intrinsic value of 100 years discounted cash flow generated because the waves do not have 100 years lifespan. Waves are for eternity. So if we went for eternity, let's say for 1000 years, then we could have 6 billion. So it is the next 1000 years, 300 jobs plus 10 per each of those indirect. So this is what politicians are destroying. Yes. But now, if it is not, then 1000 years, let's talk about it if it is, for example, eternity. So what is the intrinsic value for eternity, my friend? Because the waves don't end. And in here in the Atlantic, we have 1.5 meter average waves per year, 365. For example, in Reunion Island, you have 2.5 meter average. So they could even invest much more in this business or even create some waves there. And therefore, what is the intrinsic value for eternity? Well, one day, one person probably will say that the planet has a life span, and then unfortunately, we will find out. Until then, it's better that we do not find out that formula, but that we know that every year it is 6 million jobs and income. So I thank you very much. I hope that finally we have arrived to the conclusion of what is the intrinsic value of ocean wave. Now, done. Thank you. Bye.